This is Boomer Time, a proactive podcast for baby boomers, about baby boomers, and for people taking care of baby boomers. If that sounds like you, then you're in the right place. I'm Nancy Kogar, elder law attorney and aging advocate, and this podcast was made just for you. Remember, though, the things we discuss here are not intended to be legal advice, and no attorney-client relationship is established by this podcast. Well, it is on so many people's minds. How do I stay out of the nursing home when I get older? And next to that, how do I save my assets I've worked so hard for all my life? I just don't want them to go to the nursing home. Well, I think that one really goes with the other, don't you? And if you stay out of the nursing home when it comes to your long-term care, you will almost certainly protect some or all of your assets, but I always think your assets should go to protecting your quality of life. In fact, 90% of people over age 65 have said that they want to remain at home as long as possible. But you know what? It takes planning. Nobody, absolutely nobody, wants to plan for being in a nursing home. Why in the world would they? I think that makes sense, and I'm 100% behind strategies that will keep someone at home and out of a nursing home. Like I said, it takes specific planning and intentional efforts. And we're going to talk about some of that today. And that kind of planning should start today by learning about what's involved. This is episode 34 of Boomer Time, planning to stay home and out of the nursing home. Wow, can you believe that? 34? That is so exciting. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm your host, Nancy Kogar, and I am an elder law and estate planning attorney. And I'm so glad you're here. What an important topic we're tackling today. And I think you're going to have some really important takeaways today. I hope they lead to some more conversations and planning, because they should, and that's key. First of all, here's the truth, and the forecast really is not good. I've talked about this before. 4.1 million Americans will turn 65 this year, and the number of people aging over 65 is growing. Of course, 65 is not old, but it's part of an aging process. In 2020, 1 in 6 people in the U.S. was 65 or older. And in 2030, which, wow, that's only 6 years away, all baby boomers in this country will be age 65 and over. There'll be more people age 65 than any other age group. The other issue, people are also living longer. You think that's going to change things? Absolutely, without a doubt. Whew. In fact, it's so significant. It's called the silver tsunami. Like a tidal wave crashing, clearing everything in its path. You think we've got pressure on government systems and things now? This is expected to put unprecedented pressure on our healthcare system. That is why I am 100% behind anyone who wants to plan and strategize to avoid nursing home care. You just need to plan specifically. The government expects that out-of-pocket healthcare costs will double to $27 billion by 2030. And it's also going to be harder to find space in any of these facilities because there's more people looking. I just say your plan is better than that kind of plan, but you need a good plan that works for you, keeps you safe, and you have to be healthy enough for that plan. So today we're going to start talking about a strategy to stay at home as long as you can and out of a nursing home. And obviously, there is a direct correlation between staying out of a nursing home and staying healthy, i.e., maintaining good physical and mental health through regular exercise, healthy diet, regular checkups from your healthcare provider. And here are the keys. Planning the right way early. both legally and financially. I'm talking to financial advisors all the time. We're working together. That's key. Mobility. You have to maintain your ability to get around on a daily basis. Most of the time when people can't go home, it's because they've fallen and they've injured themselves and they have to go to a rehab facility or worse. So you have to start thinking about that, getting stronger, maintaining your core and your balance. With that, activity, strength, balance. Accessibility in your home. Improve your accessibility in your home. Make proper updates to avoid falls. Okay, I'm going to talk about a home safety analysis, which is going to be available on my website, nancykogar.com. It is an AARP tool, but I think it is excellent. It looks at exterior and interior safety analysis in your home. And a lot of it involves improving accessibility and taking away safety hazards. So more on that in a little bit, but planning, okay? Planning, I've talked about this, but this is planning who to call, when to call, and for you listening out there that don't like change, being open to help when you need it. I'm talking to you. Family support, medical support, and social support. They all need to be involved. So with this comes good diet, nutrition, regular checkups, accessibility in your home. I've already talked about that. Proper updates, avoiding falls, clutter-free home, and hiring the right help. You need to be looking at that before you need it. Household support. Having a good team of advisors, legal and financial. Comprehensive estate planning. Hello, you need that now, not later. Proper medicine management, money management, transportation assistance, and social support. So there's a pattern to staying healthy, and we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. I've got something interesting I'm going to share. So stick with me, okay? I'll be right back. Have you heard of these blue zones? I think this is really relevant. So, blue zone is a region in the world where people are found to live exceptionally long lives beyond 80 and oftentimes into their hundreds. And they're surprisingly healthy in those older years. And before you start saying genes, genetics only plays a small role, 20% or something like that. The larger factor is a combination of lifestyle and physical activity, low stress, social interaction, community, eating local whole foods, and a low incidence of disease. So scientists have studied these blue zones, and they see a correlation between them and a long, healthy life. You know, a long, healthy life, or developing a healthier life, will help you stay at home. That's why I'm mentioning this. So life expectancies in blue zones have been found to be a decade, 10 years longer, as compared to world life expectancies. There's a documentary on these blue zones that I watched. It was on Netflix not too long ago, and you might want to check it out. I think it's still there. It's called Live to 100. Secrets of Blue Zones. And I'll put a link to that on the website. You can check it out. And, you know, we've got people from one community that was featured in this documentary. And a lot of people from Loma Linda in California, a lot of folks out in Collegedale, Southern Adventist University, come from that area. So, and, you know, it's no big surprise, right? You know, on the opposite end, when it comes to lifestyle that promotes disease, the Mayo Clinic says things like smoking and genetics put us at a risk for developing different diseases, but neither one of those is a significant or the biggest risk factor. You know what is? Nutrition. Your food that you eat is now the number one cause of early death and early disease in our country and the world. Bad lifestyle for disease. I got to take a breather before I say this. Bad lifestyle for disease will increase your risk by 300 to 400%. So, in other words, I'm not trying to be a bummer today. I'm actually trying to help you. There have to be some changes made to keep you safe and put some support in place. But you also need to start eating better if you're like junk. And I like junk every once in a while, but I'm trying to do the same because I want to be healthy in my later years. And that's just the way it goes, right? So, onward and upward, the second big piece in this planning puzzle is estate planning. And I know something about that, right? Complete, comprehensive, personalized, and early. That's what I preach. A crucial step is estate planning. And you would be surprised how many people miss this step or simply try to shortcut it altogether. It's not wise. This one is worth doing right. And trust me, you will be sorry if you do it wrong or don't do it at all, because you will be creating a bigger problem for yourself and for your family down the road. I deal with those people too. Take my word for it, please. 2 documents that are very important are durable health care and general financial power of attorneys. These address a wide range of specific issues that come up as we age. These documents can be springing, which means they come into effect upon an incapacity, so that at the time your children or another designee that you put on those documents will have the necessary authority upon your incapacity to take care of these matters for you if and when that need arises. So your powers of attorney are not only specific, they're also what we lawyers say durable. And that just means that they will not lapse if you become incapacitated at any time in the future. This is very important too, because this will allow you to receive specific help from your loved ones, the ones that you trust. You can exclude people you don't trust without interruption and without any necessary court intervention or action. But you got to do it, okay? You should give these documents to your physicians and to your financial advisors and to your banks, okay? They need to be made right so that they're enforceable. So give them to them so they will have them on file. Not the originals, of course. You can give them copies. And they will be familiar with the individuals you have appointed to make these decisions if and when you become incapacitated. So, of course, you also need to talk about directives, including end-of-life directives, and other documents like a last will and testament and any trust. Those are important too. And in that, I always tell people, it's part of the estate plan. Review your beneficiary designations and make sure you have contingent beneficiary designations on these accounts. Sometimes, believe it or not, sometimes people forget to update those, and that can cause a big problem. So now is the time to review potential eligibility for programs as you're doing this planning. Perhaps government programs that you can incorporate into your plan that the Veterans Administration, VA, may offer you, or Medicare. Medicare's got some programs. Silver Sneakers is a exercise program. They've also got another one. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it's like Silver Sneakers. I'll check into that and let you know about another episode. And then, of course, Medicaid. That's more nursing home oriented. But you need to know what's available to you now. I just think that's important. So you want your financial advisor to be involved in your estate planning. One goes with the other, as I've said. And your estate plan, of course, that you create with A lawyer like me will direct where your assets go and how they're handled when you die. So that kind of aging in place requires financial planning. So you need to know and work with someone who has a knowledge of making your money work for you. You need to know how much things are going to cost, right? You need to cover the cost of home modifications if you need to make your house more accessible. Are you going to have someone come in and give you home care? Maybe you make a new bedroom or something for somebody. Maybe that you need an emergency fund. These are all things you need to think about. Also, family considerations. You really shouldn't be doing this alone. You need to start planning and involve discussions with loved ones. They're going to have to be involved at some point. I know sometimes some loved ones are not very helpful, but there's got to be at least one person that is on your side. If not, seek professional help. I sometimes get people in here and we work through some of those things too. All right, and I mentioned home safety analysis as I had earlier in the podcast, and I have that on the website, AARP safety analysis. This is critical. I think this is a great thing to do as part of this planning process. Clutter around the house, believe it or not, can create potential hazards that lead to a fall. Even a throw rug. I've seen this around my house. It gets bunched up, that can cause you to fall. And as I've said, falls are a major reason that older individuals are injured. And they're sometimes not able to return home. So it's worth it to look at those accessibility issues around your house and make improvements. Okay, you might want to put some guardrails on the stairs. You want to maybe put in a walk-in shower versus a tub now. Those are all things you want to consider. Larger doorway entries. All these improvements, a lot of them can be counted as spend-down items, which you can discuss further with me or another attorney as part of your estate planning. And we also discussed some of the ideas related to long-term planning that might make you feel more confident in moving forward to your efforts at home and avoiding nursing home. Nursing home care costs are in excess of $10,000 a month, and that's only going up. And it's becoming more difficult to find available rooms. Not only that, it's a struggle to even determine whether you're eligible for any government assistance. So I really believe that part of the process should be a family meeting where you can talk through those long-term care planning options. And, if you're comfortable, you should be, to share your priorities and your concerns. Work through various care scenarios and options that may come up in the future. If one thing happens, what are you going to do there? Maybe there's 3 different things that could happen, but, which do you want to come first? What happens next? Discuss and consider improvements to your home that can help with accessibility. I think that's a great idea. It can help keep you there longer and avoid injuries. And like I said, they can constitute spend-down items. Consider options to bring different support and help into the house. They've got home delivery for groceries now. My mom uses that. Driving service for medical appointments, cleaning, cooking services. There are all kinds of things. And there's lots of different services. So meet with some of these folks and decide who you like. They all offer different things. And same thing with medical assistance. Start looking at some of these things. So I really think that's important. So I'm going to take a break and then I'll come back and I want to talk about a few kind of final tips. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to take a break, and when we come back, I've got a few final thoughts from the Mayo Clinic and a little encouragement I think will help me. But this is a tough topic. Doesn't happen overnight. You gotta spend some time with this one. So I think this will help, though. I'll be right back. So when we're talking about stairs, it's worthwhile to spend some time on this because they are a major problem for older adults. I know my mother has arthritis in her knees, and stairs are next to impossible at this point, you know. And that AARP study says 35% of people who report any kind of mobility problem say the biggest problem is using stairs. So, if you've got a 2-story house, say your master is on the second floor, you might want to think about, doing some things to your house to move downstairs because stairs can be an issue down the road. So, there's some other small things you can do to keep it safe, repair worn out or damaged carpet, add no slip strips to the uncarpeted stairs. You don't want to take a tumble down the stairs. Paint the edges of the stairs to be a color that stands out so you can clearly see it. Cut resistant protective gloves. What? No way, that's not right. Can we cut it after the painting the stairs? Or should I read those again?
I think you read it again because of the flow. You want to make sure.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good. Start from the top.
Okay. So stairs are a major problem for adults, and I think it's worth spending some time on these. I know my own mother has such bad arthritis in her knees; it's almost impossible. Really, is impossible for her to negotiate stairs. And the AARP says 35% of people who report any kind of mobility problem, they say the most trouble is stairs. So I think this is important to think about when it comes to planning and if you're trying to stay at home. So if you've got stairs in your house, or say there's, one part of the house you spend more time in than another that's more accessible, maybe look at making that area more of the focus where you're going to spend more time in the future. That's important. I think those kinds of things can be overlooked. So again, I've got that home safety checklist that I'm going to make available for you. And it's really comprehensive from the AARP. And that's going to be on my website at nancykogar.com. So I say access that, print it out, and use that as part of your analysis to get these kinds of things started. But I tell you, exercise, strength, mobility, staying strong on a daily basis is so important. And as you know, I like to practice what I preach. So that's why I go down to the YMCA several times a week. Yes, I know sometimes I don't make it down there, Kareem, but I am dedicated to staying strong. And it's not so easy, guys, but I'm there with you. So I want to stay strong, be able to get up out of the chairs, get up the stairs, be strong. So we're in this together. And maintaining that balance and core strength is essential to staying at home. So like I said, I've said it before. And I give Kareem a hard time, but he really is terrific. And he's made a huge difference in my life and in my health. And I want to have him back on the show. We're going to have him back here at some point. And physical activity really is an important part of healthy aging. The National Institutes of Health say 2.5 hours of moderate intensive aerobic exercise is a benefit to your health each week. Okay. So that kind of moderate amount can help manage diabetes. It can help your cardiovascular system. I know it's been really hot out there, but there's some great affordable places to walk and exercise around the area. And, disclaimer, of course, remember to check with your doctor before taking on any exercise. That's important. Plus, hiking is great too. We've got terrific area for hiking. Same caveat to that too. Don't do that until you know that you're got the green light for hiking. There's some good hiking clubs in the area too. I've got a friend that meets with a bunch of 50, 60-year-old somethings each week, and They have a blast together. She's having a great time with that. I bet that's hot though. Whew. I'm looking forward to the fall. Mobility is also, I know this makes sense, a huge issue when it leads to admittances to nursing homes. And I've got a few statistics I want to share with you. So, the average length of time in a nursing home is 1 year. Okay, but 33% of seniors that are admitted to a nursing home require 2 years of care. Something to think about. According to the Centers for Disease Control, 36.4% of nursing home residents are over age 85. 27.2, or about 30%, are between age 75 and 84. 19.5% are between 65 and 74. And 16.9% are under the age of 65. So you see what I'm saying? If you can even delay having to need some institutionalized care, the longer you do that, the better off you're going to be. So 63% of nursing home residents are females. 36%, little over 36% are male. ADLs, I've talked about that. Those are activities of daily living. And that's essentially what we've been talking about during this podcast. Be it your ability to get up, bathe yourself, make your dinner, take your medicine, walk around your house, shower, those things. Be mobile, ADLs. So here's the bottom line. 96.5% of residents in a nursing home need help with at least one ADL. Okay. And the biggest is bathing. Dressing is the next, 93%. And walking, 92.4%. So you understand why I'm saying all this. And it can be depressing. 48.8% of people in a nursing home experience depression. I don't know what high blood pressure has to do with depression, but 96.9% experience high blood pressure. 34.8% have diabetes. Well, those are those quality of life diseases. That's a lot of numbers, but, the main thought that I'm trying to get across is if you keep yourself mobile and healthy and make a plan and keep your house safe, you are making a plan as an alternative. Okay. So I've got some final thoughts on planning and wanting to stay at home. So in addition to the resource I mentioned before, the Mayo Clinic has a resource that's called Aging Well Community, which is an online community, and they share ideas and support in an effort to support older adults living independently. I think that's just great. So I just wanted to share a few things, and just mainly that, I think it's important to know this too, as if you're a caregiver, that, some aging adults, they've lived in their house 50, 60 years. They can't imagine living anywhere else except home. But living at home can become challenging as people get older. Home maintenance tasks, transportation, and other challenges just become difficult to stay safe. So I think the bottom line is planning, and it has to be a good plan. It has to be comprehensive. You have to look at all these issues. So I hope you will take some time to explore these things. Let me know what you come up with, and let me know if you have questions about this. Let me know if there's an area that I didn't cover that you have interest in. And, this is an area we will cover again. I am absolutely sure. This is complex. So I just want to get tools and resources in your hands to help you. So thank you for listening today. And remember, you can subscribe to our e-newsletter, Elder Law News, you can use right on the not on the podcast, on the website, nancykogar.com. Connect with me, and we'll put you on the newsletter list. And you can also follow us, and we've got the podcast on YouTube, we've got it on Spotify, we've got it on the website, and we're looking forward to hearing from you. You can also reach out to me if you want to get in touch with me and you want to meet with me and talk about your own estate planning or long-term care. You can do that there too. So I hope you have a wonderful week, and I so appreciate you listening. I'll talk with you soon. Okay, bye-bye.